July 22nd, 9 a.m. If everyone please rise for the pledge of allegiance, follows on the prayer. Go over and hit record. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Williams, please lead us in prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day that you have granted us. Father, be with us as we do the business of Mills County. Father, thank you for the rain you have bestowed upon our county. We thank you for the people that live here. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay. And we did have a little few showers around the county, it's sporadic, which was good. Okay, number 2, review and act on minutes of July 8th and July 11th and July 18th. Commissioners, if you'll check on the minutes, make sure everything looks good.
Been making a motion on these minutes. If you don't mind, I like to do each one of them separate. Because I know on July the 8th and July the 11th, I was not in attendance at these meetings.
Okay,
I'm not gonna vote on
okay. So you want to take July the 8th and July 11th together, correct, Commissioner Wright?
them. Well, depends on Jason. I don't think he was here July the 11th if he wants to vote on
Well, we'll do one at a time.
it. That's the reason
Yeah,
I
that's
asked to do one at a
All
time.
right, Commissioners, let's do July the 8th first. Any changes or updates anyone sees that we need to do on July the 8th minutes? Motion been made by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Partner for the minutes of July the 8th. All those in favor of approving the minutes of July 8th, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I'll stay.
So 4 ayes and 1 abstention from Commissioner Wright. Okay, minutes of July the 11th. Any changes in y'all see? If not, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of July the 11th.
Second.
Second's been made by Commissioner Head. All those in favor of approving the minutes of July the 11th, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstention from Commissioner Williams. Okay,
You're saying so it's 3-0?
okay. Minutes for July 18th, 2024. Commissioner Williams made a motion to approve the minutes of July 18th.
Second.
Second's been made by Commissioner Wright. All those in favor of approving the minutes of July 18th, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, abstaining from Commissioner Head.
The second was from, thank you.
And then we have the workshop 2, minutes for July 18th, which is at 1 p.m. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the July 18th workshop that's at 1 p.m.
Second.
Second's been made by Commissioner Wright. All those in favor of approving the workshop minutes of July 18th, 1 p.m. say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstaining from Robert Hess. Okay. That's done for the minutes. Audience with individuals. Anyone sign up to speak today? If not, moving on to consider an act on approving accounts payables. Commissioners, let's check on the accounts payables.
On page 3. Under precinct 1. Tire seals, that's O-rings for precinct 1, and also, it says P&E All Company. It says tires, that should be, all, hydraulic oil and motor oil instead of tire.
Okay,
I had a question on page number 1, area wide locksmith. What did, I know they had to change some keys now and
yeah, if I need to, I'll call a guy up here, but, go where the keys would not work in our doors for us locked up in the evening. So we got this locksmith to come in and, I guess keyed everything. We all got new keys. And, I don't know, Melissa, did we get y'all keys too? Yeah. So we got everybody new keys for all these doors. And they're working.
waiting on the ball, I guess, the ball,
We get word later on,
same ball.
the ball.
Would you like for me to address that? That's the vault where we keep our exhibits. And it would not open. Right. That's where we keep our exhibits, is in the district attorney's office has a vault. And that's where the clerk keeps their exhibits. And we could not get it to open. The lock was gummed up. We didn't have to break the door. He was able to get it open and cleaned the lock. It looked like it was just really gummy and old, and he said we aren't servicing them the way we should be. They should be serviced at least every other year. And nobody knows the last time those vault doors were serviced. Probably when the courthouse was refurbished.
That big part.
He said actually that's probably what happened is someone put WD-40 in it, and that's not what needs to go in a lock. It will degrade and make it gummy, and then you have your bill.
Other one I had, I guess, is yours on your deal, Sonia. the
Yes.
Nevada County Clerk.
Mhm. Was it the vault?
Thanks, Dave.
I don't get it.
Now,
That's the JP's law.
Yeah, that's not me.
She orders them, if she orders them, to go under the county support.
Any other questions, commissioners, on accounts payables?
On page. What? On page number 6. Precinct 4. I just noticed a deductible for damage to a car.
Yes, so a lot come off the haul truck, or not off the belly not. Now, yes, officer, windshield.
That wasn't good, was it?
Lady retired.
Okay, any other questions?
But to follow up on that, the tarps were there, everything was good. Nothing, nothing, it's just, they could come out on tire itself. Ran through all our insurance said that it's, less than our deductible and all, even if it's deductible paid, so that's it,
All right, any other questions on accounts payables? Hearing none,
Make a motion, we approve the accounts payable. If there's any.
motion has been made by Commissioner Wright to approve the accounts payable with the noted changes. I'll second that. Motion, anybody else, any other comments? All those in favor of approving the accounts payable, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, number 5, consider an act on Hamilton EMS interlocal agreement and budget. At this time, I call Mr. Patrick Cobb up here. Patrick, good morning. I'll kind of prep everything up. Commissioners, we discussed this, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And the updated news is, Sensaba did pass their portion. And this is in regards to the 3rd ambulance. Mills County has one, Sensaba has one ambulance, and then we share the 3rd ambulance back and forth. And as y'all know, Hamilton County Hospital District EMS Services has had some increases. So this is where we're at right now. And the proposed increase, what myself and the judge at St. Savin worked out, we're splitting that third ambulance. And we thought it's best to judge it on the call volume on the third ambulance. The third ambulance accounts for 39% of all pickups. So St. Savin's call volume is a little larger, which is 55%, ours was 45%. So St. Savin approved an extra, their total was 382,500. And if our commissioner court approves it, our commitment would be $367,500. Is that correct, Mr. Cobb?
Yes.
For the next budgeted cycle.
Correct.
So Patrick, did I leave anything out? You need to.
My math wrong, 367? I thought it was 364.
Well, it's 117,500. For the, based on the call volume.
45% of 250,000.
What's the total cost of the ambulance that we're talking about, that we're splitting?
So the total cost to you with the increase would be 367,500.
That's the Mills County portion.
Yes.
Okay.
And San Saba was 383.
Commissioners, I know some of y'all reached out to Patrick on questions and everything. This would be a good time if y'all have any questions or comments to ask Patrick Cobb.
I've visited with Patrick a couple of times on the phone. Start out to see if there was a way that we could prorate it over the 3 years, and I guess it goes back to the board. They said, yes, I have mixed feelings. Under contract. That contract is changing. Contract actually renewed South last year.
I know the only problems that I have is that I know that being in town, most of the people in town that stop me and talk to me, they want law enforcement and they want EMS service. And I know that it's hard, they don't get much, from these county roads that we run up and down on, but they do want an ambulance service and they do want law enforcement. And I think we've tried to do that in Mills County. And it's been awful good. I hate to see the cost going up like it is, Dale, but I don't know any way around it.
I don't know either, but you're talking about people that live in Gulfport, when you get out in scattered areas, they want the roads.
I understand that. And I have the same situation here in town and outside of town, but most of mine around town, and they want a service. And I know this county spent a lot of money on the building that the EMS is housing right now. And yeah,
My big problem is the $87,000 in clear that y'all are asking for.
What now?
The $87,000 in clear that you're asking for.
I still can't understand.
My biggest problem is $87,000 over you're asking for.
87,000.
Well, you got 202 and 39, you take that away, it's 167. And you're asking for 250, $87,000 more, 163. It's $87,000 more than y'all's expense.
Oh, I understand. So to your point, what we did, and part of Commissioner Parton tonight's discussion too, was not only prorating it, but see if we could divide the cost in half, et cetera. And essentially what our auditors did is they added 3% just to do a cost of living increase for employees only. It'd go out 3 years. And if we did try to prorate anything at all, we would be again at a deficit year one, not to mention years 2, 3, and 4. It would just be an accumulation deficit. To get us just to break even, that's not just cost plus 10%, that's just a zero margin. We would have to be at the 250 starting out because we're already essentially at a deficit now. The deficit we're showing unfortunately shows on the San Saba books because that third ambulance lives.
Yeah, I understand that.
And so that's why it showed the 202 negative in San Saba and 39,000 positive in Mills County. Because the costs weren't allocated essentially 50-50 between the two sets of books. That's why the difference is there. So it's insurmountable, and if we got a request to decrease the level of service and essentially get rid of that third truck, then 39% of the 911 calls, you're waiting 45 minutes an hour for a truck to come from another county, which obviously is problematic, not only on the clinical side and patient care side, but between other counties surrounding you. So that's.
This cost gonna change year to year?
No, sir. So the goal is to do this for at least 3 years, barring any changes in federal regulations with insurance, specifically Medicare. If we don't have any major changes that affect our reimbursements from the federal government, then we hope to keep it at this level. And I don't want to revisit this issue anymore annually than you do. And we even went back and looked at those numbers because I was hoping this would be a question. Since we're a Part A EMS provider, the critical access, we get reimbursed differently from Medicare than other ambulance services do. If there's a change in federal law, for example, and that designation changes, it's a $304,000 impact just to Mills County. In other words, that would be revenue on Medicare patients we would no longer be reimbursed for if we were another ambulance provider. So that's the difference between Part A, Part B, in critical access versus a traditional EMS provider. That's how much money is being impacted to Mills. But again, barring that or barring some catastrophic change in regulation, I hope to not see anything for at least in the next 2 years. And, you know, that's the commitment I made to Commissioner Parkman and to Judge Johnson, and you know, that's what we're going with.
Any other questions from Mr. Cobb?
Yeah, I still have a problem with that. 250,000 times 45% is only 113,000, 17.
For shares, 40, 55, and 45, or 53 and 47.
Said 45, and so I've done the math.
Well, it's 45.3, 45.37.
Watch.
Try 47%, 250,000,
47?
47.
Yeah, 7% equals that.
47%, sorry,
Our
So-
call volume was 47%.
47%.
So how did we come up with, I mean, because this paperwork right here says 5%.
These were negotiations between Judge Johnson and Judge Foley, and what they did is I provided 3 years worth.
This is 3 years numbers average, that's what it was. One is the last fiscal year.
And they averaged 3 years of call volume,
That makes a big difference.
came up to 53%.
That's a difference.
47. And that's what.
Because we did not budget that in our budget. Now, I can't remember for their budget.
Sure.
Did the previous numbers.
So we changed it at the last workshop to 367,500.
Well, it wasn't when we reviewed. You must have changed it afterwards because
Friday.
Yeah, the new one that's
it
in
wasn't
here.
in Thursdays, Judge.
Yeah.
So if you change.
How about that?
Double check.
It was very big and,
Then I went back to the summer, we did
I'm
check.
looking at it, it's not changed, so. That's why I'm questioning not the budget.
But it has been corrected some? Okay.
367,500. Okay. Okay. Commissioners, any other questions for Mr. Cobb?
And so are you going to redo the contract or is that gonna be on our side?
I'll send you an updated page. Nothing else changes in the contract other than the annual subsidy. The length of the contract doesn't change or any of the other provisions. And then one final piece, we do need to publish the rates. That's the second part of this. Is there are changes in federal regulations that start September 1st of this year. And so our consultants are asking us to publish our insurance rates in the contract. That way it gives us additional leverage and bargaining opportunities with the insurance companies on reimbursement contracts and so forth. To illustrate how important that is, right now, our average bill charge is about $1,700 per transport. Our average payment from the insurance company is $660, which is about 37% collection. When new federal laws come into play this fall, they actually have the opportunity to reduce that payment even further to only pay Medicare minimum, which would then decrease that payment even further. Obviously, any revenue changes that go down for us, at some point, we may have to come back to extend those costs back to all 5 of the counties because of it. However, if we publish the rates, and it gives us the opportunity to, again, have some leverage with the insurance companies to prevent that.
How are your collections on private pay? How's that work on your collections? Is it pretty well, pretty good?
To be honest with you, in the EMS business, self-pay and no pay. We get about 3% revenue from self-pay patients. One of the things we dug way deep into the numbers, based obviously on questions from both Judge Johnson and Judge Foley and San Saba, and then even from Commissioner Parker brought up some good points a couple of days ago when we visited. We dug deep into the numbers. One of the things we found for Mills County and San Saba too is historically your self-pay runs annually anywhere from about 17 to 19%. Until last year, you went up to 26%, and San Saba County went up to 27%. So 26 people out of every 100 that we transport in ambulance have no insurance, no Medicare, and no pay of any kind. And again, when it's only 3% collection, now it's a sizable portion of your community that we're having to do private reimbursements from. And to be fully transparent, we do not report credit bureaus. We don't file liens against your property, and we don't put you down with collection companies. A year and a half ago, I was successful in getting our hospital board to extend indigent health care programs that are hospital-based to Mills County and San Saba, Orlando, and Passes. Historically, that was only for Hamilton County residents because of the district being Hamilton County. But obviously, since EMS had expanded and we provide service to other counties, we felt there was no reason why we couldn't extend the indigent health care plans or programs to EMS customers in our counties, and the district did that. But even so, we're talking about the $10 a month type plan, that we're trying to recover as much revenue as we can. But the basic answer to your question, 17% historically, not your 26%, and out of that, 3% actually pay any part of the bill.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Cobb? Any other discussion?
So Gerald. So if we approve this today, it's considered an act on the agenda. We approve this. And he makes an amendment to the contract that we have with him. Do we go back and approve that amendment, or is it done?
Well, I think that's what they're doing today, is approving the amendment and passing.
Okay,
So no, I don't think they're being,
okay. Just want to verify that.
I'll be able to.
Yeah, I was just reading that part of the contract says proposals and adoption.
Okay, any other questions, discussion?
Would like to say we appreciate the job you guys do. Things that have been in deal. I think the reason we're all very conservative is we're all running a deficit budget.
Sure.
And I think we've got to do what we got to do. Just
Yeah, I agree with the Commissioner Porter's comments. We're, everything's up, expenses up, in y'all services, and we try to do everything we can, save the taxpayers money in this county.
we did visit too. Their billing is done through Hamilton Hospital.
Right.
And I got a call right after we talked. You must have sniffed on me. But they do need to work on their getting bills out. And if it's as bad with the EMS as it is getting bills from them from the hospital. They need to work on that too, and it could help us out in the end.
I'll pass it on.
Pass it
I'm
on.
a customer too. I can empathize.
I got a call right after we talked, and I thought, oh my God, he sniffed.
But to your point, just so the court knows, historically EMS companies contract out their billing to a third party commercial company to do the revenue collections. We've been doing that for 20 years and paying anywhere from 7 to 10% of the collection fee to the collection agency, which for us is anywhere from $350,000 to $400,000 a year just in fees. In an effort to be more efficient and streamlined and save expenses, we actually terminated those contracts last October. We hired 4 individuals that are now full-time employees, the finance office at Hamilton Hospital, and now we do our EMS billing in-house. So, I canceled a $400,000 contract to spend $200,000 of them on full-time employees, but again, now it's local. Now we have local people doing the local work. And we are saving as much money as we can in that respect, which also saving the pass on to you in our other customers too. But it is building this up.
Okay, any other questions, discussion? Anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the Hamilton EMS interlocal agreement budget change to have an increase of $117,500 for a total of 3 years.
You need to put the total figure, 367,500 probably in there.
That's a total increase. We don't have to do that.
Second that motion.
Okay. Sonia, did you get all that first off? Okay, so we got a motion by Commissioner Williams, a second by Commissioner Wright. All those in favor of approving the proposed motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So we have 4 in favor, Commissioner Head voting against. Patrick, thanks for coming.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a good week. Okay, moving on, number 6, consider an act on engagement letter from Eckert and Company for the Mills County Audit. They do our audit, been doing it for quite a while, do great work. This is a yearly deal that we bring to the commissioner's report. Summary, anything I need to add to that? Questions regarding the audit commissioners with Eckert and Company? Hearing none, I'll make a motion, we approve the improve the engagement letter for Eckert and Company for the Mills County Audit.
Second.
I made a motion, second by Commissioner Wright. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Moving on, discussion on hiring contract EMC coordinator and or FEMA coordinator. As you know, Commissioner, we've been having numerous workshops, discussion, and regarding the EMC coordinator with our somewhat deficit we're facing right now, I do not want to create a whole new budget office for EMC coordinator. I was pretty kind of nervous in my stomach about taking on any more responsibilities. My plate's pretty full like everybody's. But I've talked to Holly, I've talked to Sheriff Poole quite a bit. And if it's with the favor of the commissioner's report, I will add that to my plate of duties, being helping with the EMC coordinator, I guess would be proper term, Holly. And basically what all it entails, extra work for me, there's at least one more meeting each month, correct, with COG in the COG district. Supposed to meet with each school district 3 times a year. Meetings, of course, with the sheriff's department. So I got a good relationship with the sheriff's department. That's no problem. And of course, working with the fire department, which we got 4 excellent VFDs. And also make sure the emergency management plan is up to date. And the hazard mitigation is up to date and handle any emergencies or disasters. So, commissioners, any questions or what on the EMC coordinator?
So about adding the position. We just put that back.
I can take it back in my office.
That'll be effective.
Effective January the 1st. Sheriff Poole would do this until January the 1st. And also, we have the discussion on the FEMA coordinator.
So you gonna do that?
No, I'm not, I can't do all that too.
Let me talk.
Now, come up here.
Uh,
Now, I will work some of the things.
y'all know me, Holly Ragstone. Couple things, so, the FEMA coordinator and EMC coordinator situation, I don't know why y'all are separating those in a way. Because if you did have a full-time EMC, they would also be doing the FEMA stuff. Currently, y'all don't have a full-time EMC, so right now, all of this FEMA stuff with the flooding that we had occurred is kind of falling on the sheriff and then falling on him. That's how it is. So him taking on the responsibilities are already his responsibilities. As the county judge, he is also, his other title is considered the emergency management director for the county. If you hired an EMC, that would just be the county judge delegating those duties to somebody else. So that's where the differences are. So currently, yes, you are still the emergency management director, but currently he has delegated those duties to the sheriff. Whoever is in the position of the sheriff has taken on those duties and roles. So that's kind of where y'all are right now. So I think currently you don't have somebody that goes to fires. You don't have somebody that helps with grants and stuff. The volunteer fire departments kind of do that on their own. Right now, you don't have someone that assists with that. But those are roles that a full-time, if the county's paying for a full-time EMC, those are roles that are laid upon their assigned duties. So currently, we don't really have anybody that does that. Like I said, everybody kind of does it themselves, but that would be like a full-time EMC. That those things like, you know, working with safety and security committees with the school districts, the fire departments, working with EMS, things of that sort is what you would have in a full EMC. On the FEMA side, this flooding side, that would also be one of their duties. But currently, since you don't have one, you have to delegate that to somebody because, again, I've told y'all time and time again, it is a lot. The road to get public assistance and reimbursement is a lot. And we just last week sent out the request for public assistance. Sheriff Poole and I sat down and it was a quick form. The primary and secondary contacts were, I believe it was the sheriff and the judge. So those are the two contacts that are going to be started. If we had a full-time EMC, you would put that EMC as the primary contact because that would be their job. That's why you're paying them. But the judge will always have to be. Technically, the EMC when all this happened, he's going to need to be involved in this quite a bit. Summer, she's always going to be involved. I'm sorry. But she's always going to be involved because she's our treasurer and that's the documentation that we need. So there's two different differences. When we start talking about reimbursement, you cannot get reimbursement from this flooding stuff for just daily dues and daily duties as an EMC. But if the EMC sets 5 hours each week to send in documentation to FEMA, to do the flooding, get on the phone calls, go to the meetings, do site inspections, yes, they can request reimbursement for just that time, not the time going to a fire chief's meeting or going to the school meeting. So you have to separate those two if you're looking at reimbursement and if you're looking for someone just to do certain duties.
What about a FEMA coordinator?
So if you're calling him a FEMA coordinator, you can contract somebody out, but that is something that we would for sure want to get Matthew Weeks involved to make sure if you decide to do that you go through procurement, the proper procurement, your proper policy and procedures at the county level, so that if you're wishing to get reimbursed from FEMA, you're good. You got it all in order. If you're calling them a FEMA coordinator, their only duties should be just for the flooding event. They should only be going to summer to get documentation for the flooding. They should only be going to, sheriff's office for flooding stuff. They shouldn't try to go to the school for safety and security needs and things like that are daily operations. They are just going to be reimbursed for anything that is about the roads and about the flooding that happened in May/June. So understand that. FEMA's not gonna pay you to hire somebody full-time to just do a normal EMC job. They'll pay you partially, they'll reimburse you for anything like an EMC that you have hired to do everything. They'll partially pay you for the hours that they did on the flooding incident, but they're not gonna pay you for a full EMC in the county. And that's why it's a big deal to document your hours, document your daily logs. Like the sheriff, he's been documenting every time he works on the flooding. He makes sure to document it because there's potential for reimbursement on that.
What do you think about someone helping FEMA aspects?
We talked about it in the workshop about, having, treasurer do that. Reading the. Attorney General report. All about that.
I didn't mention this to you. But I did contact Trish out of Comanche County. She had been in Houston the last 2 weeks. She just got home, either she couldn't remember if she was gonna come home Saturday or Sunday. And so she had commissioner's court this morning in Comanche and she didn't miss the last 2 weeks. So she could not be here today. So I did try, I attempted for that. I truly think that would be a benefit for each of you. I know some of you have talked with Trish on the phone and maybe Marcia out of San Saba. I think that would be a real benefit. I know we're kind of on a time crunch right now, but I would reach out and talk to them too, because they do a lot more. Every county is different what they need and what they want. And so each county has their own needs. So Comanche does things a little bit differently than San Saba. And if in the future y'all decide to get that position again, Mills County is going to be different a little bit on needs. So, but I'm sorry.
We also, the Attorney General report.
That was for the year 2008 and correct, Jason?
Yeah, September 2008.
Yeah.
7.
That's,
And
what was that opinion?
And so the summary is a bonus plan that is permissive on accomplished performance goals set by Commissioner's Court may properly interfere with the elected officials' constitutional based sphere of authority. Thus, they cannot advise the Commissioner's Court to do that. But I don't quite understand why this opinion was sent to us, because this is given a bonus that the Commissioner's Court is going to set to themselves, which I can see why that is, but we're not doing that for ourselves. So,
And Gerald,
I visited with Gerald about this several times last week. What the opinion was seemed somewhat not related so much to our proposal that we're looking at doing, Gerald. And Gerald thought everything sounded good from what you told me on what, if we do this.
Yeah, I agree with Jason. I don't know that this Attorney General opinion is especially relevant. And of course, what you do, I mean, when you're doing research, trying to find an answer to the problem, more often than not, you don't find something that's directly.
yeah.
So then you start looking around and trying to find something that's close. And this opinion is probably as close as TAC can come up with, which I understand. And basically it says the court doesn't have the authority post approval of salaries to grant an additional sum of money in the form of a bonus to an elected official. Because, the salaries are posted in the papers that are approve those. And so I think TAC is making a comparison between that and what they're trying to do now, which I think, relevant comparison. I agree, it's not directly the point, but you can kind of see what we're talking about. So, I mean, I understand what to do it. And I think the judge, I didn't find, and the judge actually called somebody. Maybe you had an email.
We got an email and talked to him briefly and,
Basically, it was I read the email, it said, rather than, if you structure it differently and actually call it part of the salary, the public in the newspaper, you still have time to do that.
Yes.
As far as the budget schedule cycle is concerned, that we would still have time to do that now if we want to do it that way. But that would be the proper way to do it, would be to call it
Stopping
some sort of supplemental
or supplement.
salary. And post it in the newspaper, put an asterisk by it and say,
Yeah.
you know, this amount of money is attributed to the FEMA process, which is temporary and only related to this particular FEMA contract cycle. It's my understanding of what happens.
So, or did that TAC and y'all's visiting over that legally, do you have to resend all the letters back to all the elected officials? And I guess it has to be in the newspaper.
That's in the newspaper. I don't think we'd have to go through the salary grievance committee again, Gerald.
I
On
don't
that
know
aspect.
that you would have to reconstitute it.
It's all right. You know, as you know, we go through
But the statute says the last grand jury. We've got a new grand jury.
You know, that's a tax question. I don't look at the answer. I don't, to answer your question, I don't know. I mean, I think if the court was inclined to want to go through this process, I think there's a way to get it done.
Right,
I think we're on the calendar, we still have time to do it. But if you're gonna do it, you need to do it quickly, or you're gonna run out of time.
Well, the bonus situation is out. We know that. We can't,
You can't call it.
no, we can't, that's no way.
Yeah, you can't just award more money to a public official because you think they're doing a job. That violates the United States, I mean, the Texas Constitution. Texas Constitution says you can't do that. You can't pay somebody for services that they were supposed to have performed already.
So we,
Pay for additional services, but you can't just say, well, you did such a good job, we're gonna give you an extra $10,000. You can't do that.
some of y'all were on here, I don't know if all of y'all, but remember, but years back, we did a supplement to the two elected officials, the JP and sheriff. My wife says that, but anyway, in that they were magistrating for Hamilton at that time. And so we added, but we did that at the beginning of the process, just like what Harold's saying. We went through that whole thing. And then the next year, we did not have to do that anymore. Because they got whatever fixed over there that they had problems with. So it's not like it's a new thing. It's just we got to get it in the salary line out of it.
Yeah. I'll read for the record real quick. Y'all got these in your packets. It looks like you have plenty of time to republish the notice 10 days prior to your public hearing. You should be fine. Go ahead and put the minute salary into the proposed budget. You filed the clerk on July 31st. Maybe put an asterisk indicating that it's changed since the initial notice, elected official salaries. Same on the minute notice. So that's the comments.
And that was
John Reddington, TAC Legal. So the one question would be, if the county treasurer does do this, what would the stipend be? Monetary dollar figure. Commissioner Barton, any thoughts?
Oh, I've got some figures. I hadn't discussed it with nobody. I'm gonna say from 30 to 35.
I was thinking 30.
Around 30,000? Okay.
Don't even know if that'd be acceptable.
Okay.
A lot of work.
But I'm also getting a full-time employee. I would like for them to have some type of supplement. I know Jason said I could do stuff for them, but I still think sometimes they're gonna have to go out for me in my place if I'm at, let's say, conference, treasurer's conference. There's gonna have to be some times that person steps up. So I'm thinking like $5,000 for them.
She's saying this.
30 for me, 5. All right, if we do that today, then I would like to get to Hoffman on that.
Okay. So 39,000,
30,000.
five on the assistant. Okay. All right.
That sounds.
Sounds fair to me.
Yeah, reasonable, because it's gonna be a tough situation.
You know,
And the only thing about it is that we say a full-time job and it's really, it will be for a while, I guess. That they're going,
When it's over, it's over.
yes, yes. I understand that. That's what I'm trying to say.
And discussing,
Yes.
Senate Bill 22 or anything else, but Jason alluded to a little while ago, and that was right after I came on, in one of those cases, when one of the cases ended, there were lawsuit threats and everything else, because the money was being taken away, and that was part of her or part of the salary. Well, it actually was not, and neither will this be. You know, this will be for
Well,
FEMA required stuff.
but that's why we approved the elected official salary. So
Okay, and we will make the changes then in the Global Eagle for the proposed salaries in today. We got to 12 noon to get that in. Run the paper. And of course, summarize that to the budget. Any other discussion on this, gentlemen? Yeah, still on 7. Anything else on 7?
This is strictly for the FEMA
Yes.
coordinator.
Yes.
No, we're not even considering the contract for the EMS,
Well, that's gonna be the
but it's
next
gonna
one.
be next.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Holly, question.
Holly, don't come up again, please.
Yeah.
Do you think that we're very possibly going in the right direction on FEMA? May not think, maybe not.
So. Yes, I do think you do need to delegate someone to do the FEMA stuff. I do think that, because all of this running around between people can get a lot, especially when we start getting into the weeds. And we just sent in the request in the application, so you're fixing to get in the weeds. So yes, I agree, delegating just the flooding and the FEMA stuff to one person right now is the right idea. Yes, the judge is still gonna be involved. Yes, the sheriff's gonna still be involved. Yes, Summer's gonna be involved, but there's gonna be that one person that's gonna be the POC, the point of contact. So yes, that keeps it organized, and that keeps all the information going to one person at a time instead of multiple. So I do agree with that. On the other end, and this is something I know you all are structured right now, we're trying to, I do think Mills County would benefit from an EMC position. I truly, truly do. I think because, you have nothing but volunteer fire departments that they have lost out of grants just because they didn't know, or it takes time to write grants and they don't have the time, they don't have real jobs and real priorities. I think the school districts would also benefit from somebody coming in and helping them with their emergency plans and helping them throughout the school time, even sometimes. But school year, and I think y'all would benefit, but I understand where y'all are coming from at the same time. We're a very, very small county, and our budget's very, very small. So I do understand that. But on the FEMA end, I agree with you. I think delegating, just focusing that as a priority right now, if you really want to take on the role and the steps to get reimbursement for these roads, because we did whatever $2 million worth of damage assessments. And that's maybe half of what we all really had. I think you do need to take on this public assistance and do your very best to try to get it or get some type of reimbursement. I'm not saying you're gonna get everything, but I think you do. I think you need to try, and I do agree to having that one delegated person to take on, to get those phone calls, to receive those emails, having that one point of contact keeps it organized. So.
I agree with Holly, and I'm all for next budget cycle looking for EMC coordinator. I just feel like I'm just expensing everything right now. It wasn't a good time for us.
And I think, grouping the right people, you know, having the sheriff in the room when y'all discuss those things. But I also later on, bring Trish and bring Marcia and bring Lacey from Hamilton, bring them in the room and let them talk to y'all about what they do and what benefits they bring to the counties. So I really think y'all would understand coming from somebody that's in that spot. My job and my duties are very, very different than a county EMC. I do more state, that's what I am, but I truly think you'll benefit from it. So later on, I can assist you with, you know, getting those contacts and stuff of those local EMCs and hopefully getting them in the room and talking with you. I can assist y'all with that. When it comes to job descriptions, and I can tell you what a county EMC does, but when it comes to the money and stuff, that's way above my pay grade. That's something I would talk to Marcia and Trish and all of them and compare what they have and what they do. So that's just my opinion.
Well, that's what my thinking is now, yes, I mean, judge elect, sheriff elect, you know, it's probably coming, but with the way we budgeted money to get this ball rolling, which is probably gonna create us a deficit budget hugely. So we need something working pretty quick to try to recoup some money without spending any more than what we have to.
And so we're in the process, so I can tell you, I'm actually, once I get done here, I'm running Hamilton. FEMA is currently in Hamilton County. So they sent in their request for public assistance. They did the exploratory call maybe a week after they sent in that request. And now FEMA has already been in Hamilton for a little over a week now doing site inspection with each of the commissioners. And that's the next step. We did our business, then they're gonna come out and they wanna reevaluate. They wanna see what you have fixed, what you haven't fixed, what you temporary or emergency, fixed, what's, you know, things of that sort. So just be prepared. That's what Hamilton's a couple of steps ahead of y'all just because they sent in their request right as soon as we're allowed to. But last week, the sheriff and I, we sent that request. They'll be contacting, either the sheriff, Summer, or the judge, one of them. Then an exploratory call, and then they'll set days and times of when they're gonna be in Mills County and they're gonna wanna meet.
So hopefully in the next few weeks, you're thinking.
Yes, it was at Hamilton, because it was a holiday, July 4th was a holiday, so it took them about 2 weeks to have that first phone call after sending the request. And then, I mean, like I said, they started last Monday, so it was right after July 4th. They started the ball rolling. And the EMC Lacey of Hamilton, she has continuously been uploading documents, receipts, labor costs, things of that sort to the portal so that FEMA can start going through it. So I can't give you a timeline of how much reimbursement, but getting the ball rolling makes it faster, makes it quicker. So just for y'all situational alerts, just know in the next couple of weeks, next month probably, you'll be getting called and I'll be there. You have to have a state representative there with you to do the site inspections. So I will be there with y'all as well. And we'll schedule time and days just like we did in the past. To go out with the FEMA representative from wherever. The one in Hamilton's from Washington DC, so nowhere near us. But any other questions?
Any questions? Well, hang loose, we're gonna be discussing something else next year. Any other questions for Holly? Any other discussion on hiring an EMC coordinator and or FEMA coordinator? Commissioners, anything else? Okay, hearing none, we'll go to number 8, consider an act on hiring a contract EMC coordinator. Now, Holly, again, I talked to you earlier about, soon I take over some of these duties and stuff. It's my time, no, I'm the director.
You're the director. These are your duties.
And these are my
All of these are your duties. But when a county judge or county commissioner hires an EMC, that judge delegates those duties to a coordinator in EMC. So as the director, and that's for every county in the state of Texas, the county judge, his other title is the emergency management director. He just delegates those to another person that the county pays for. Since we don't have that, They are your duties. You've just been delegating them to the sheriff
Yeah.
in the last several years. So if you want to take on those roles and take them off the sheriff, you can do that. I mean, it's not, that's you. But at the end of the day, those are your duties as a county judge.
Commissioners, comments, questions?
Looks like you have a lot more.
Yeah, I'm not real excited about it, but again, I want to address this next budget cycle.
Here it is, it's you. Any questions?
I know, Tatum, Holly, David Shaw, have all been excellent working with, all the sheriff's department, everybody. So we got to consider an act on hiring and contract EMC coordinator. We still need to take a vote and everything to do that or not, since it's under my purview.
Do it if you're disqualified to draw.
If Paul's back in my office, I don't see we really need to take a vote or anything.
I don't know.
You gotta consider an act on it, so.
I know, but I'm just concerned that if you're saying you're that busy, if you can do it. I mean, the sheriff's saying that he's gonna be that busy. We've actually had that position in the past. And we know that it got behind before. I mean, I'm willing to give you the go at it. I mean, I'm just,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna
Well,
bring it up next budget cycle, I'm more for.
yeah, I'm not real excited, but again, I hate to hire, create a whole new office, go through all that. And if we do a new office sometime, I'd like to look, spend more time. So you work crunch time right now with everything going on.
It's actually, I think if y'all decide later on to fill a full-time EMC position, there's a lot of things you have to look into a vehicle. I mean, we talked about the vehicle, we talked about the office, we talked about the training budget. Those are all kinds of aspects that if you're gonna hire a full-time EMC, you're gonna have to put that on the table as well. But again, I think y'all would truly benefit if you decide to go that route later. Talking to EMCs around us that have been doing it for years.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. We're kind of, again, the crunch time and just going through the process. I hate to just rush into it. So I think
It's a long process.
it's a long process. So, what are we looking at? Maybe just tabling this and not do anything on it? That's what I'm hearing. Gerald, any comments on that? You heard what's.
Well, I just go back to what I said earlier, also the schedule.
Yeah.
Don't do something that's to do with increasing salary. Like officially, you gotta get it done. Or you're going out.
Yeah, I know. So we're talking about doing this tabling, considering act on hiring a contract EMC coordinator, since it falls under my judge's office. So. I'm saying let's just table this, commissioners. I don't think we need to take any vote or anything, correct, Holly? I mean, as far as it's under my job description. or something.
Just take no action.
No, just do no action.
But y'all can leave it as is, or you can decide that you're gonna take those duties off of the sheriff and put them in and then you're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because currently you have delegated to the sheriff,
Yeah,
so.
If you're gonna take over until January, you're gonna have to make a motion.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna make a motion that, the EMC coordinator falls under the judge's office. I know that's already going. Effective January the 1st of 2025. Okay, is that a good enough motion, Holly? Okay,
I would say the judge would, I mean, you would take on the duties that you have already delegated to the sheriff.
okay,
You would take back the duties that you delegated.
okay. Is that motion good enough? Okay, motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second's been made by Commissioner Portman. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? One opposed. Okay. Thank you, Holly. Number 9, discussion of 2024-2025 budget and budget calendar. I reached out to our interim chief appraiser, Lori Friedrich, this morning. And she said the certified tax rolls should be out later today or first thing tomorrow. She's still verifying some numbers. They were still having protest hearings last week. Mills County praises it.
And the reason why they're having a protest hearing still is because they were so far behind with the other issues of the management.
Really? Okay. Okay. So, As you know, once we get these certified numbers in, then Charles Miles and Summer can get more, numbers out. And that'll be the process. Any questions, commissioners? The budget calendar right now, there's the budget calendar, I think it's included in your packet.
The only thing I've got to say is we know that there's a good possibility we're gonna be running a huge deficit, which is probably related to increased material. But I would urge everybody, since it's one of those years, to look at your prospective budgets. I don't know if we're gonna have some more meetings and make some more cuts in them.
I think once these numbers come out, we'll have a better idea of where we are. Sure, do whatever we need to do, okay? All right. Anything else?
I just kind of like to add a little bit on what Dale's saying on that. I mean, pretty much, if you look at the whole budget, we don't have any capital improvements. And so, I know that, precinct 1 has a capital improvement, it looks pretty high, but that is based on a burn up maintenance. So, I'm not for sure what precinct 3's capital improvements are, and then, second. Huh?
I thought we changed it to.
On 3, I mean, I'm sorry, 2. Precinct 2.
Yeah, it's two.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's the.
I mean, we said here the other day, I'll go ahead.
Anyway, and so I'm also thinking that, you know, I really don't want to cut mine down to 0, but, I'm willing to match precinct 3's on that, city right now. So I would, make a recommendation on Summer, if you would take that line item. 314.
What page is that on in the printout, Jason?
It's 26 on a computer. But it's, precinct 4, 314. And to make that deduction of, from 60,000 to 20,000. And that's, and so that only leaves, the only really capital improvement out there is if you take away Mike's burn up machine is what Robert's got. And then the sheriff's department's capital improvement, like a new vehicle, is based on the city purchasing it, not necessarily the county. Some of their other capital improvements are to the grants and stuff, so it's not necessarily capital improvements that the counties. So,
The other thing is even on precinct 1, and that's the next thing on the. I could sit in and found some maintainers out there that were viable within that deal.
Yes,
So you've still got 50,000 on top of that.
yes.
Robert's got 100,000 on.
The- Yeah, the 50,000 I had on mine is, of course, the vehicle that the commissioner uses. It's 10 years old.
you didn't say anything in the budget hearing, so for a big,
But it says discuss the budget. So I'm,
yeah.
I don't know if y'all be willing to, but I think this year it helped a lot. I think what we need to get the payments. Dale, I think we need as close as we can to about the budget.
Commissioner Head, any comments on your expenses or anything, equipment or whatnot? Your precinct, I know you're tied up in the workshop.
so mine, Dale, what you're saying is $0. You won't see it come out of mine on,
No.
Well, you had 50, you
314.
had 50,000 plus the insurance check.
that's correct. We made 110,000. That's correct.
But you said you've been able to find some maintainers at that 61,000.
Yes, that is correct.
Now, what we're talking.
Well, I hadn't went out and priced them because I hadn't had time. I've just seen them on the internet. Yes, I've looked at them that way. And that's the only way, where you can buy one of them in Illinois for that, I don't know. Where you find one in Texas, I don't know.
You're saying that
But I'm thinking
You're
49.5, yes.
you're figuring on that, but now you're saying you're figuring on the pickup.
That was for the 50,000, well, not the 63. The reason I put it in the budget, Dale, is the reason I have it on the agenda now is that if I don't get it bought in the next, before October the 1st, I don't know what happens to that $61,000 for the next commissioner that comes in. As long as it stays in the precinct. And that was my concern.
And but that would be to purchase another van.
What they're asking you, if you would be willing to cut your $50,000 this year because of the deficit. Now that's up to you.
Yeah, I know.
Commissioner Head, any comments on your expenses?
Asking you the same thing, Robert,
I understand what they're asking, but I also have the smallest budget up here too. So,
Okay.
Well, I will have a question on this, is that you have the most road damage, but you have the least amount of road material.
I put what we thought we can cover for the year.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we hire contractors and haul material everywhere, but I mean.
Same way.
A lot of my damage is low water crossings and all that stuff. I mean. That's what we're working on. I mean, yeah, I mean,
Okay, Commissioner Wright, anything else on your deal?
No, sir.
Okay. Anything else, commissioners? Hearing none, we'll go.
I'm just wondering what y'all's decisions are.
Didn't want to change it.
Making a decision on it.
Not cutting. In regards to the budget calendar too, we want to add Monday meetings. Monday commissioner meetings up until we vote for the budget.
Say that again, I said trouble hearing you.
So on your budget calendar, you do not have those Monday meetings that we have before we vote on the
Okay.
budget to present it to the public.
Okay, well, we can sure put
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do y'all still want to do that? That's how we've done it in the past.
Monday. Okay,
It's a discussion matter, but I don't think we can act on it. I can act on it now. If it's not on the agenda, can I do it?
what's that?
Can I act on something that's not on the agenda?
What are you acting on?
It's a discussion.
Well, that is a discussion.
We're asking to try to get the numbers from the budget. We're not asking for a vote.
And
And you're saying that you don't want to change it. That's what you're saying.
well, I'm for it. I mean, I can, if it really comes down and we get the numbers. If you want to change it now so you can get some numbers, so be it. Lower it 40,000, leave 10,000 just in case that I can't replace that maintainer. See what I'm saying? Instead of 50,000,
Add 10 to your interest.
yes.
If I can answer your question, you can discuss anything that is related
Yeah.
to an agenda item.
This is the budget calendar we approved, or not budget calendar, this is the commissioner's report calendar we approved and it's posted on our website. We have schedules to meet every Monday in our office. It's just not on your budget calendar, but we did approve this in commissioner's report. We just need to update the budget calendar to include those dates.
Okay, Commissioner Wright, so
Yeah, I can work on mine. No problem, guys.
okay, do you have a number right now, or do you want to work on it, or what?
Yeah, no, I told you I'd probably lower it 40 if they want to.
Okay. Okay,
Between you and Jason, that'd be another 80. We're cut 280.
okay.
But the sad thing is, all of those cuts are coming from probably where we need it the worst. So that's the reason I'm asking everybody else to go look at your budget.
Okay. Okay, any other questions or comments?
And so we're supposed to have the numbers tomorrow.
That's what they told me. I'm going by what Lord Friedrich told me, today or tomorrow.
Their deadlines.
25th, yeah. Okay. Anything else on?
And everything is correct on this budget calendar.
Yes, Lord, I know, yeah. Okay, Right, let's go on to number 10, consider an act to allow precinct 1 insurance check in the amount of $61,483.33 for the loss of the 1989 Caterpillar motor grade to be placed in miscellaneous income for precinct 1. Commissioner Wright?
Is that what when I ask you to do that, is
It's
that,
just a reassurance to Mike that his money will stay in his fund. I don't think he'll be able to get one bought before the end of this fiscal year, so it'll roll up and he'll be able to purchase it next fiscal year.
that's the reason if I'm not in the office coming January the 1st, I want to make sure that the new commissioner had that money to purchase that. That's the reason I put it on the agenda.
Okay. Commissioner Wright, you want to make a motion on that?
I do make a motion that we,
Go ahead and state your motion, Mike.
I'll make a motion, we put the $61,483.33 in miscellaneous income for
Okay,
precinct 1.
for precinct 1, and Commissioner Parton seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor of approving the insurance check for miscellaneous income for precinct 1, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 11, consider an act on subdivision variance precinct 2. Commissioner Head, I'm gonna prep this up. I don't know if you need Commissioner Head to come up or not. What's going on?
Commissioner Head,
Commissioner Head.
we got ahead.
Commissioner Head, Commissioner Head. Wesley Head. Robert Head, go ahead.
Basically, Wesley came up and asked me about a variance. He went through all the steps, he filed it with Sonia and everything else. He's, I think you want 4 acres, wanting to buy 4 acres off of a family member to build him a house.
Okay.
So
I might just chirp in here to say, we've done this before and we'll be doing it again. Basically, our subdivision regulations say anytime you have a tract of land, you cut a piece of it off, whether it's 1 piece or 100 pieces. Technically, that falls into the definition of subdivision. And unless it's exempt for other reasons, one of which being over 10 acres, then it's subject to the whole subdivision process and approval by the court. And you and I both know that there are situations where somebody's gonna sell 3 acres to a neighbor or a kid or whatever. That person is not what we generally consider to be a subdivider. It's just a one-time situation. But technically, it requires either approval of the subdivision by the court or, in this case, a waiver. I think we all know Wesley and I've known him a long time, and I don't consider him a subdivider. Maybe he'll turn into one. But it's kind of a one-shot deal. And I've said before, we might want to build in an exception to our regulations to something like this, for somebody who just doesn't sell more than 1 lot a year or something, or 2 years or whatever. But until that's done, then the process requires him to obtain a waiver, or he's subject to arrest and prosecution. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want either one of those laws. So that's where we are.
I've discussed this after the budget cycle. I want to have a meeting with myself and Gerald, probably Don King, maybe a commissioner, to discuss these subdivision rules and regulations. I think they need to be updated. So maybe September, October, we can look into that. Okay?
I make a motion that we approve the subdivision variance for precinct 2 to honor the Head family.
Okay, motion been made by Commissioner Williams to approve the subdivision variance. Second by Commissioner Head. All those in favor of approving the subdivision variance, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Wesley, good job. Number 12, discussion on FEMA projects. Again, Holly, we got the application in. I know Melissa worked on it and
I brought it forward today.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
We'll-
come back and begin for the 3rd time, Holly.
That was good. So we did last week, the sheriff and I sat down and, we sent in that request for public assistance. So the next thing is they will be contacting either the judge, the sheriff, or Summer to set up it's called an exploratory call. It's gonna be like a Zoom call. They'll probably push that Zoom link to y'all, or maybe we can set up somewhere like sheriff's office conference room where we can all just kind of sit there and watch, or we can figure something out. But what that does is it explains, you meet with your project manager with FEMA. You start talking to them of the needs of the county, the wants of the county, how much y'all are considering you need right now or want. And then scheduling dates and times for FEMA personnel to come into the county and work with each of you to do site inspections. So, and again, we found out Hamilton's currently doing site inspections. We found out that they're required to have a state representative, I'm your state representative. So I will also go out with y'all as well.
So how you gonna do that and if you're still doing it in Hamilton with us? Right?
So y'all are gonna be until a couple weeks. Hamilton's doing it this week. So I think y'all, because I don't think so. I don't think so. Because it took, like I said, Hamilton sent in their request right as soon as it was available to do so. Again, 4th of July holiday, the federal government takes that seriously. So they were off that day. And so they started in Hamilton last week and it's coming into this week. Y'all just sent in your application last week, so I'm betting y'all won't start hearing from them until late this week or next week. But then once you have the exploratory call, then you will schedule dates and times to do site inspection. So I'm thinking the 1st of August is when y'all will start doing site inspections about the time.
One question about Tatum, y'all know David Shaw, the regional director, is his title, I think, is the district director is retiring into July. Have they made an appointment yet for the?
No, so they're hoping to have someone in that position by August 15th. But currently our district chief that's stepping in, his name is John Pilaf. He is currently the Milam County liaison officer, but he is ex-DPS. He was a DPS trooper for many, many years. And then he also dabbled in emergency management while he was with DPS. So he's kind of my direct supervisor right now until they put someone in that position. So if all else fails, we've got him, but also at the end of the day, I can pull Martin Winfeld, the district chief, out of Waynesville if needed. He's been with them like 13 or 14 years, so he's just shy of what David was with them. So we've got people.
So one question I have, I know St. Sabo voted to also do FEMA.
Yes, they're doing the process as well.
One of those commissioners or two of those commissioners are opting out of it. How do you opt out of it after you sign up?
You decide not to do it. That exploratory call that we get on, those are things we need to discuss. Is if Commissioner Williams, you decide I don't really want to do the work, I want to pay for it myself and do the work myself and not try to get reimbursement, then you can. And that's going to need to be discussed in that call. And then when site inspections come available, you just won't do site inspections since you want to opt out. So that call is very important for those conversations. So if you decide to do that, now if all 4 of you decide to do opt out, then we're wasting our time even getting on the call. So, and we're wasting our time doing the site inspections. So I think in my opinion, get on the call, talk to the project manager, see, answer any questions you have that I can't answer, and see what options you have. And decide if you don't want to opt in or opt out. And if you opt out, then don't waste your time going through the process.
Jason, didn't we talk about too on that same subject on years ago? 7 or 8, that precinct 3, that commission at that time wouldn't have to just kind of watching them.
Well, I just didn't know what the hell that did.
I understand, he dropped out, but precinct 3 was still in the program.
Yeah,
He just wasn't doing.
and they took some of the money. Because the other
Just
precincts, yes, because the other precincts had to go and prepare and fix it.
I just knew you made that comment.
I've told y'all from day one, it is not an easy process. I'm gonna be blunt with you. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of Zoom calls, it's a lot of site inspection, it's a lot of that. So it's not gonna be easy. But if you're wanting and you're willing to go through the process, I mean, again, I'm here to assist it. It's my job to be here to assist y'all. That's my whole job. But Hamilton, like I said, they're a little bit ahead of the game of everybody else, because they did it right. Clary, one of the commissioners over there, he's done this before, so he understands it. And again, I think it's one of the top position. He has a ton of knowledge and experience too. I know Comanche went through the process, Eastland went through the process, and Brown County, I think, went through the process. And so I think there's people that are still sitting in the commissioner's seat or other seats that have dealt with it before and are gonna deal with it again. So. Yeah.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Holly? Holly, thank you. We'll be talking to you quite a bit on these things. Thank you. Thanks for everything you do. Number 13, Commissioner requests and reports. Commissioner Wright, go ahead.
All roads in precinct 1 are open. Some of them are still plenty rough, but they're open. We've been blading and repairing 314, 313, 306, and 310. We've also worked 318, 317, and 315. We've worked 412, 427, 423, and 426. So far, if y'all haven't been out to see, we've received millings so far in the precinct. 56 loads, 42, 38, 40, 47, and 45. And each load consists of about 16 yards, what those trucks bring. That's what's in the yard so far.
It looks like real good material too.
It is excellent material, and I don't know if that's all of it. Gonna have more. Like I'm saying, I'm just at the mercy of the contractor right now, waiting on seeing what's wants me to close the date.
They weren't grinding this morning, but I know they're not there.
No, I don't. I think they're. Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, but anyway, I wanted that to be known, and also, y'all aware of, I've been having some health problems, and I want to comment. My two road hands, Mark and Rudy, they've done an outstanding job. I deal with them every day on the phone, even though I don't come in sometimes. I stay at the house, do paperwork. And also, I'm gonna be off Friday, Scott and White, so. That's all I have.
Well, good luck to you, Commissioner Wright. I know you had a tough time, so let's know if we can help.
Okay, appreciate it.
Commissioner Head?
We worked on, County Road 235. We took a pretty good hit during that flood on that, on a section of road there. We added a couple 10 horns, increased a couple 10 horns. And, recovered a lot of material off both sides of the road. And then, got everything kind of built back up where we're smoother. Then when we went over to, 240, what we call Weeder Bush or Tom Cody's Corner or whatever. Went through there and cleared a little bit of fence row so we can actually recover a lot of the stuff off out of there, built that back up and then hauled some, and then recapped it. And, we just been putting things back together.
Busy. Okay. Commissioner Parton?
Basically still trying to get some repair bills, was pretty well guaranteed. We may get those this week, or I talked to him last week. See where we're at so that we can make other arrangements to hopefully go back to work on that maintainer. We topped some road on 520. Basically just still hitting spot hitting, but now we're to the point that we're really having to shred those places so we can see where material's at in the ditches, so we can pull it back out. And so other than that, I guess I've made the request 2 or 3 times this morning. Not saying I'm right, but I think every year we should strive for a balanced budget. So that's the reason I ask people to look at their budgets, help us if you can. Because I think that's what the county should do, is operate off of what you get tax base. Some years it might need to go one direction, some years it may need to go another. We made pretty massive cuts up here from our budgets. I think it's time for other entities to help us out. And my goal is to have a balanced budget or as close to as we can when we get through with this thing. So that's all I got.
Okay, Jason?
Been using the rock crusher, for the last couple of weeks, all of 508 and all of 527. Next question I have is who gets the rock crusher next? It's gonna be coming for the end of the
Precinct 1.
precinct 1. There has been a couple maintenance issues on that rock crusher. One was the door handle. To get out from the inside, it broke. And, anyway, so we've got it patched, but Kirby has ordered us another door handle, so. Just FYI, if it doesn't come in by then, you gotta be careful getting out the inside or you got a problem.
Dale, did you get through with it on everything that you needed? Cause I know we kept it for nearly well, when they ordered the part last time from Kirby, we kept it for.
We're good now. We're gonna move the track loader. We're gonna try walking some. We're gonna rip one road and try walking it down with the track loader. If it don't work, we'll have to shove it over the ditch and wait till we get done.
Well, like I say,
We got plenty to do and not much to do it with.
Did a little maintenance stuff on the haul truck and trailer, put the new, tarp system back on the Dura trailer. Since that wasn't done, of course, worked on the budget, I'm pretty much guessing like the rest of y'all, we just need to let the public know that it takes time to get these roads up. We're working as fast as we can.
That's my standard line, yes.
Yeah, we're working as fast as we can. And last but not least, I met with a different contractor, he's related to the Valencias here in town on the curb issue at the law enforcement center on Saturday. He'll be sending us a bid via email. Don't know, we've got that approved for this year, but doesn't look like it's gonna happen, so. Okay.
Jason, the public's been pretty good for all of us. I know we have
I know,
one or
but
two.
there's the same ones that,
As far as fixing to say one or two that just stay on the backs about it, but we're doing the best we can. I agree.
More than one or two.
Right, Mr. Williams, anything else? Okay, county judges report number 14. First off, as you know, Friday we had a worldwide computer glitch. Vehicle registrations, computers were shut down. Statewide computers were shut down. I checked this morning at 8:30. They're still shut down, but I got a text that they are now up and running in vehicle registration, the state's computers. And the only thing else I got, we got a Central Texas Council of Government meeting Thursday. I've invited future incoming Sheriff Jones to ride with me. This is in Belton, also Sheriff Anthony Poole. So we'll make a road trip to let them meet everybody. I know Sheriff Poole has already met a lot of them. Mr. Jones meets some of these folks and he'll be working. And that's all I've got. Number 15, adjournment. Anybody ready to adjourn?
I'll make the motion, we adjourn.
Motion been made by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Head. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Adjourn. Time.